softness, the newness of morning light. Ooh, I close my eyes just to dream of you at night. Ooh, there's nothing as lovely as you in the morning light.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and on behalf of the Nottinghamshire Registration Service, but of course much more importantly on behalf of Ant and Nat, a very warm welcome to Goostdale on this very special occasion. My name is Adrian Wallace and it's my sincere pleasure to conduct this marriage ceremony here today. Anthony, is your full name Anthony John Coleman?
It is.
Is your full name Natalie Joy Williams?
It is.
We are here to witness the joining in matrimony of Natalie Joy Williams and Anthony John Coleman. If any person here present knows of any lawful impediment why Ant and Nat should not be joined in matrimony, they must declare it now. Ant and Nat have chosen today as their wedding day, a celebration of their commitment now and for their future together. Marriage is confirmation of the love, respect and friendship they have for one another. The vows they will exchange will unite them as a married couple with words that are a pledge of their love and a promise of lifelong dedication. The couple have chosen today to celebrate one of the most important milestones in their lives, their wedding day. They will declare in front of all of you, their family and friends, that they wish to make a lifelong commitment to one another. Through this ceremony, they will make a formal and sincere declaration of that commitment by exchanging vows that will unite them. Today's ceremony is a declaration of their lifelong commitment to one another. When two people make such a commitment, they form a special relationship founded on trust, on love, on respect and on friendship. And they have asked you all here today to witness their promises to each other and to share with them their happiness and their hopes for the future. I would now like to invite Rachel to step forward with some words chosen for this occasion.
All of these lines across my face tell you the story of who I am. So many stories of where I've been and how I got to where I am. But these stories don't mean anything when you've got no one to tell them to. It's true, I was made for you. I climbed across the mountain tops, swam all across the ocean blue. I crossed all the lines and I broke all the rules, but baby, I broke them all for you. Because even when I was flat broke, you made me feel like $1,000,000. You do, and I was made for you. You see the smile that's on my mouth, it's hiding the words that don't come out. And all of my friends who think that I am blessed, they don't know my head is a mess. No, they don't know who I really am, and they don't know what I've been through like you do. And I was made for you.
Before you are joined in matrimony, I have to remind you of the solemn and binding character of the vows that you are about to make. Marriage, according to the law of this country, is the union of two people voluntarily entered into for life to the exclusion of all others. So Anthony, I'm coming to you first. Do you, Anthony John Coleman, freely consent to be joined in marriage to Natalie Joy Williams?
I do.
Do you, Natalie Joy Williams, freely consent to be joined in marriage to Anthony John Coleman?
I do.
I shall now ask each of you in turn to declare that to the best of your knowledge and belief, there is no lawful reason why you should not be married to one another. So Ant, if you'd just like to repeat these words after me, please. I declare that I know.
I declare that I know.
Of no legal reason.
Of no legal reason.
Why I, Anthony John Coleman.
Why I, Anthony John Coleman.
May not be joined in marriage.
May not be joined in marriage.
To Natalie Joy Williams.
To Natalie Joy Williams.
I declare that I know,
I declare that I know,
of no legal reason,
of no legal reason,
why I, Natalie Joy Williams,
why I, Natalie Joy Williams,
may not be joined in marriage
may not be joined in marriage
to Anthony John Coleman.
to Anthony John Coleman.
I would now like to invite Nick to share some words chosen for this occasion.
It's bang out of order, that is, guys. There are many ways to say I love you in words and song, and Ant and Natalie have chosen a lovely poem by John Cooper Clarke called I Want to Be Yours. I want to be your vacuum cleaner, breathing in your dust. I want to be your Ford Cortina, I will never rust. If you like your coffee hot, let me be your coffee pot. You call the shots, I want to be yours. I want to be your raincoat for those frequent rainy days. I want to be your dream boat for when you want to sail away. Let me be your teddy bear, take me with you anywhere, I don't care, I want to be yours. I want to be your electric meter, I will not run out. I want to be the electric heater, you will be cold without. I want to be your setting lotion, hold your hair in deep devotion. Deep as the deep Atlantic Ocean. That's how deep is my devotion.
So we have a round of applause for our readers today. Chosen to exchange rings, an ancient and traditional way of sealing the marriage vows. The wedding ring is an unbroken circle symbolising everlasting love and is the outward sign of the lifelong promises that are being made to each other here today. So David, you'd like to step forward with the rings, please. And Anthony, if you could take the ring intended for Natalie. Thank you. You'd like to place that onto the third finger of her left hand. Has anybody got any WD-40?
My hands are never warm.
Hold it there, Anthony.
Hold it there.
Okay. As you say, Natalie, I give you this ring
Natalie, I give you this ring
as a symbol
as a symbol
of our love and our marriage.
of our love and our marriage.
And you'd like to make a promise to Natalie.
All that I have, I give to you. All that I am, I share with you. I promise to give you my love and friendship, to confide in you and comfort you, to trust and support you. I promise to be there when you need me most, always and forever.
David, could we have the second ring, please? Would you like to place that onto the third finger of his left hand? That's it. And hold it there as you say, Anthony, I give you this ring
Anthony, I give you this ring
as a symbol
as a symbol
of our love and our marriage.
of our love and our marriage.
And Natalie, you'd like to make a promise as well.
I promise to care for you with love and friendship, to support and comfort you through good times and through troubled times. I promise to care for you with love and with patience, to respect and cherish you and be faithful always. These promises I make to you for the rest of my life.
Anthony and Natalie will now make a binding contract of marriage to one another. To support them in this, for those of you who are able, please stand. I call upon these persons here present
I call upon these persons here present
to witness
to witness
that I, Anthony John Coleman,
that I, Anthony John Coleman,
do take thee, Natalie Joy Williams,
Natalie Joy Williams,
to be my lawful wedded wife.
to be my lawful wedded wife.
Natalie. I call upon these persons here present
I call upon these persons here present
to witness
to witness
that I, Natalie Joy Williams,
that I, Natalie Joy Williams,
do take thee,
Anthony John Coleman,
to be my lawful wedded husband.
to be my lawful wedded husband.
Anthony and Natalie, this is the start of a new chapter in your lives together. We hope that the feeling of love that you clearly have for one another will deepen and grow stronger throughout the years to come. You have declared your commitment in the presence of your family, your friends and witnesses, and have made solemn and binding promises. You have symbolised your marriage by the joining of hands and the giving and receiving of rings. It is therefore with the greatest of pleasure that I can declare that you are legally joined together in marriage as husband and wife. You may kiss your bride. Congratulations.
Pacing up and down your drive, trying to get the nerve affirmed that I'm the only one who you should give of your affection. But you were watching me from your window. Your bag was packed and you were raring to go on this ride. All my attention you've got. Ooh, I could tell by the way you were looking at me I was found. For you counted down, you watched my every move, like a blind man finally seeing something. I've been finding every road has led to you. Hey, Under the setting sun, we started off and played this game. You are it and I'm on the run. I know I'll never be the same again. Well, everything I've ever dreamed of, you've got. Ooh, I could tell by the way you were looking for me, I was found. For you counted down, you knew my every move. Like a wise man holding all the answers, I've been swimming in a crowded pool of fools. Hey, but all I've ever wanted, you say you'll take me just the way I am, but out the welcome mat and I'll walk through. Yeah, light the candles and we'll start again. I'm gonna count to 10 and come find you. You know I'm gonna find you. Tell by the way I'm looking at you, this is real. This is how I feel, I'm falling into you. Like an acrophobiac skydiving, I jumped out and I left my parachute. You see, all I've ever wanted is to play hide and seek. Only you.
Yeah, I'm going to be a poor follow-up from Terry, I'm afraid, but I'm going to have to read it because I can't remember it all. But yeah, just want to say, first of all, a very warm welcome to all of you. It's wonderful to see you all here. And it's been such a happy morning and it's going to be a happy day. I'm so pleased that you've all come. Some have come from far away and some not so far. So thank you for getting here and helping us to celebrate the very happy occasion of Natalie and Ant's wedding day, their commitment to each other and the love they share. Just a moment to think about those who can't be here today for different reasons. They're sorely missed, and yes, just to think about them. Natalie's dad, Terry, would be a very happy man today because he liked Ant very much. They'd been a couple for a couple of years and he'd seen that, and I'm so pleased that he had. He would be a happy man today. They share a love. Oh, Terry and Ant got on very well from the start, didn't you? Yeah. Because they share some of their personality in some ways, but also a love of sport. And he was happy to chat with Ant about sport because he'd lived for years with 3 females in the house that weren't very sporty at all. So it was a good thing for him. Natalie and Ant were a lockdown couple. They met just before lockdown. And so the first half of their courting was during lockdown. And I think they were very fortunate, really, that it happened that way, because when we weren't allowed to get together and you had one friend to choose, they were able to make what they called a bubble, wasn't it? And see one another, and it must have been very comforting for you, and it was very comforting for me because Natalie lived in Nottingham, I live in Wales, and I would have been worried about her if she hadn't had you, Aunt, and your company. The first time we met Aunt, Terry and I, it was a Saturday morning. It was when COVID was still on, and we weren't allowed to have people in the house, and we had to choose a friend to walk with and that sort of thing. That was going on, and there was a knock on our door on a Saturday morning, and it was a bit drizzly that morning, and I opened the door, and there stood Natalie with a bunch of flowers, and Aunt. And that was the first time we'd met him. And Natalie was very sheepish and said, "Can we come in?" Well, how could I refuse? I hadn't seen her for so long. And there was this nice young man with her. And I was very pleased about that. So I let them in. And we've got a long living room. And we sat at opposite ends of the room drinking coffee. No. And then the sun came out, and we walked to the top of Holkin Mountain, which is a bit of a custom, actually, with the boyfriends and girlfriends. We did it with Rachel as well a few times. Yeah, and it was a beautiful sunny day by then, and we came back and sat on the patio and had a lovely buffet, really, wasn't it? A buffet before they had to leave us. It was magical because for so long we'd had so many restrictions. It was really enjoyable, and we liked Aunt straight away, and he was so easy to be with, and he still is. I don't know where I am now. I've gone past my notes, you see, that's what I've done. I've just made it up. Yeah, I've got you. Yeah, I'm really happy to see Natalie married to Aunt. I think they're just right for each other, and I wish them many moons of happy marriage. And I hope they carry on caring for each other, understanding each other's humour, and communicating well. Today's ceremony was just magnificent. It was very, very lovely. And you all look, well, you obviously look beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And Aunt, so smart. The bridesmaids, so gorgeous. And the groomsmen, all very smart too. And not to be forgetting the little fairy, the little flower girl. Princess Emma. Yes, and so I think you'll all join in wishing Aunt and Natalie a wonderful life together. Together. Yeah. I have got, strangely enough, some good tips for her here that I want you to listen to carefully. They come from a home economics book of the 1950s.
Oh my God.
So, preparing for your husband's return home at the end of a working day. Number 1, have dinner ready. Plan ahead, even the night before, to have a delicious meal on the table. This is a way of letting him know that you've been thinking about him and are concerned about his needs. Most men are hungry when they come home. And the prospects of a good meal are part of the warm welcome. Prepare yourself. This is number 2. Take 15 minutes to rest so you'll be refreshed when he arrives. Touch up your makeup. Put a ribbon in your hair. And be fresh looking. He has just been with a lot of work-weary people. Be a little gay. and a little more interesting. His boring day might need a lift. Number 3, clear away the clutter. Make one last trip through the main part of the house just before your husband arrives. Then run a dust cloth over the tables. Your husband will feel he has reached a haven of rest and order, and it will give you a lift too. I've stopped counting because I've lost count. Minimise all noise. All at the time of his arrival, eliminate all noise of washer, dryer, dishwasher or vacuum. Be happy to see him. Greet him with a warm smile. Some don'ts. Don't greet him with problems or complaints. Don't complain if he's late for dinner. Count this as a minor compared with what he might have gone through that day. Make him comfortable. Have him lean back in a comfortable chair, or suggest he lie down in the bedroom. Have a cool, warm drink ready for him. Arrange his pillow and offer to take his shoes off. Speak in a low, soft voice, soothing and pleasant. Allow him to relax and unwind. Listen to him. You may have a dozen things to tell him, but the moment of his arrival is not the time. Let him talk first. Make the evening his. Never complain if he does not take you out to dinner or other places of entertainment. Instead, try to understand his world of strain and pressure. His need to be home and relax. The goal, try to make your home a place of peace and order where your husband can renew him in body and spirit.
Oh. Did a man write that?
Now, I think ignore all that.
I've got to follow that now.
And I'd like you all to stand and have a toast to the bride and groom. To the bride and groom. Right, that was it.
This is just a short poem for Natalie. I did not get to choose you. That honour was my son's. But if I could have picked his match, you still would be the one. You're more than just a daughter-in-law. You're also a daughter in my heart.
Hello everyone, it's wonderful to see so many people here to celebrate the wedding of my lifelong friend, Ant. Thanks to everyone involved in making this such a special day, Nat, you look amazing. The bridal party looked so perfect too. I've known Ant for nearly 35 years. He's a great guy, loyal, trustworthy, down to earth, dependable, logical, a perfectionist. What I'm trying to say is he's the perfect qualified accountant. This was reflected in his recent stag do, which was a stag do to end all accountants' stag do's. Long gone are the drunken nights, strippers and general debauchery of stag do's of our 20s. Budapest was a very classy affair of sightseeing, bathing together in the spa baths, dining out, and the occasional whiskey when Ant was feeling at his bravest. Ant and I have had many amazing trips together. However, people often thought we were together romantically. And there were countless times we arrived at a hotel to find they'd put us into a double bed or some other awkward situation. One of the worst was in Brighton, of course, when we'd booked what turned out to be a tiny cabin for lovers. So I ended up sleeping on the ironing board all weekend. One of the funniest stays we've had in a hotel was when I woke up in the middle of the night and Ant was gone. Due to a combination of flashing lights in the ceiling and me snoring and letting off wind, it meant I woke to find Ant had taken his mattress into the bathroom, where he was wrapped around the toilet bowl, hanging on for dear life. He'd rather that than share a room with me. My fiancée Jo over there knows exactly how he feels. I'm sure his trips away with Nat are much more comfortable.
She still snores.
Ant and Nat are made for each other. I never thought Ant would meet someone he loved enough to share his life and his space with, but from the moment he met Nat, I could tell this was going to be different. I'm so happy for him that he's finally found someone that he connects with and enthuses over, that makes him so happy. Good luck, Nat. He's all yours now. Can everyone stand and toast to Ant and Nat?
Thank you, everybody, and welcome to the wedding of Mr. and Mrs. Coleman. Which I never thought I would say. And if there's anybody in any doubt as to whether the wedding's all about the bride, Nat turned up in a Bentley, and I turned up in the back of a clapped-out Toyota. So, yeah, thank you all for being here today. I know that some of you have given up a day's annual leave. Obviously, it's a working day today. I know that a lot of you have come all the way from Wales. Sorry, I'll do that again. A lot of you have come all the way from Wales. Always wanted to do that. But the biggest thank you of all is to Tongtos, who's flown all the way from Hamburg. So basically, to take you back to when me and Nat first met, to give you some context, I was for many years going on speed dates and internet dating and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And for anyone that's ever been in that world, it's it's quite a few hard knocks along the way, and you get used to sort of sometimes moving on to the next person if it doesn't quite work out. And so I was in quite a negative mindset, I would say, at that time. And then I met you at Beauvale Priory a day, and there was definitely an instant connection there. And I was so happy I went out and bought a sofa. It's the kind of thing you do, you know. And yeah, it was going well. But 2 months into our relationship, COVID happened, and obviously I know for most of us, or for all of us, it was a tough time. Lots of shops closed, no events to go to, and things like that. But on reflection, it actually helped us, I think, COVID, because it forced us to skip the dating stage and become a proper couple, really. So we spent a lot of time around each other's houses, cooking for each other, or mainly you cooking for me, actually. Yeah, and it kind of bonded us together. And then it wasn't long before I was introduced to Nat's family. So Mary and Terry, Rachel, Mike and Emma predominantly. And I have to say, from the start, you made me feel incredibly welcome. And yeah, can't thank you enough for that. And as Mary mentioned, there is, unfortunately, Terry is not here today, and he would have loved an occasion like this. And he also would have done a great speech. He was great at speeches. But at least I did get to know Terry for 2 years. And in that time, I got to see where Nat gets a lot of her personality traits from. Warm hugs, sense of humour, and an ability to always be late.
Apart from today.
But Terry was a great man, and I'd like to take this opportunity to raise a toast to him. So,
Yeah, to Terry.
to Terry.
The dad. To Terry.
So, after 18 months, we started to have discussions about a topic which filled me with absolute dread, and that was living together. So, when you're in your 40s, and I'd always mainly lived on my own, it was quite a big hurdle to get across, but I knew in order to make this work, we had to live together. So Nat wanted to do a trial move-in for a month. I wanted to make it a week. It ended up lasting 1 day. I think it's fair to say there was some miscommunication on both sides, I think, and it didn't quite work, so we had to have the big chat. And we met up in Nottingham, didn't we? I remember, and we said, look, we need to try this again, but we need to maybe do it more organically, if you like. So that Christmas, we said, Nat will move in. We won't set an end date on it. We'll just carry on and keep on moving with it. But that Christmas, 2 bad things happened. One was a month after that Christmas of 2022. Unfortunately, Terry passed away. So Nat was going through that. And I had quite a bad accident. I know some of you won't know this, but I was at home, had some whiskey, went down the wrong hole, basically. I was choking and ran to the bathroom and just blacked out and just basically cracked my head on the side of the sink. And you found me, didn't you, in a pool of blood, half a tooth missing. And it really was a serious situation. And Nat drove me into A&E that night, and I think it's no exaggeration to say that you saved my life that night. So I remember probably 2 to 3 months after that accident, I was sat on the sofa I mentioned earlier. See what I did there? And I remember sitting there with 13 stitches in my head, half a tooth missing, and thinking 2 things. First of all, if she still fancies me after this, she's a keeper. And secondly, I thought, well, if we can get through this, we can get through most things. And I think all of a sudden the thought of living together was melted into it didn't matter. We actually needed each other then. And that's when it made sense that we needed to, we didn't even worry about living together. It just became a normal thing, really, and a new normal kind of settled in. So I got moaned at for not wiping the surfaces after doing the washing up. And of course, every bed has to have at least 9 cushions. But no, it started to become the new normal, and by this stage I'd had the ring about a year, and it was more a case of when I'll propose rather than if I'll propose. So I booked a holiday that year to Ibiza, and the idea was second to last day of the holiday, we would get a boat over to Formentera, and I would propose on the beach. And I still remember that day hiring 2 push bikes, cycling to the beach, knowing that something big was about to happen, but trying to hide it from you, and that was quite hard. But I got to the beach, started rummaging in my bag, and I think you thought I was getting a towel out. I was actually getting a ring out and asked you to marry me. And thankfully you said yes. So that brings us to where we are today, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank a few people. First of all, the bridesmaids, so Rachel, Michelle and Beth, you all look absolutely amazing. And I know that Nat really appreciates your support today. So thank you very much. Secondly, our friends Kate and Chico, where are you? They've done us a beer for the day. It's called the Hoppy Couple. So if you've not had one yet, feel free to take one. But it's a really nice touch, guys, so we thank you for that. And when you do drink it, make sure you read the label, because Kate's managed to get as many wedding puns as possible into the label. Mum and Dad, what can I say but thanks for everything you've done. I bet you thought this day would never come, but better late than never, yes. Maz, you've always been there for me, and yeah, thanks for being there. Who else have I got? Steve. Steve, our tennis battles over the years have been immense. I've known Steve for 20 years, but I think it's the last 10 years since we've been playing tennis that our friendship's just come on leaps and bounds, and you know, you've been a really important person for me, so thank you for that. Dave, obviously, I've known Dave since I was 11 years old, and it's amazing that we're still best friends. You know, been through many trials and tribulations together, and Dave's almost like my first wife. I say that because we went on so many holidays together, Europe and San Francisco, and you know, so many countryside walks together, gigs, you name it. So, but it's great to have you here, Dave, as best man today, and it's also an honour that I'm going to be best man at your wedding in November when you marry Joe. And one thing Dave always used to say, because some of the holiday destinations we chose were actually quite romantic, like south of France being an obvious one that we went to about 9 times. And you always used to say at the end of the holiday, this would be a great place to bring a bird back to. Well, now we both can. So lastly, Natalie, so I've been thinking about why our relationship works so well, and I think one of the key reasons is because we can both be 100% ourselves with each other. You know, because I am quite quirky, if I'm honest, but you're also quite quirky, I think. And you know, I like to do voices for inanimate objects. Case in point. I even do a voice for our Hoover. I knew I should have invited Henry today. But yeah, I have my quirks, and I feel like in previous relationships, I've always tried to be the person that I thought they wanted me to be. But with you, Nat, I can just be me.
Oh, that's lovely.
One of our other strengths is that neither of us take ourselves that seriously. And before I wrap this speech up, I've got to tell you at least one anecdote of one of our little mishaps. So it was COVID, it was summer, it was a nice day, and like many men, during the COVID period, no barbers were open. I asked Nat to shave my head for me, and as you can imagine, it's not a very long process. So Nat was shaving my head, and whilst this was going on, we had a little barbecue on the go. And I said to Nat, whilst you're shaving my head, would you mind sort of flipping the burger on the barbecue? And she did, and she also made us a beautiful salad to go with the barbecue. And with it being that, it wasn't just a standard salad, there was avocados and feta cheese and olives and beautifully made salad. And she placed it onto the table next to where I was having my head shaved. And obviously, this was summer, so I had no top on, and I just had my head shaved, and I had hairs all over me. And I remember, as you do, flicking the hairs off. And I remember watching, almost in slow motion, the hair float towards this salad. And I remember sitting down and saying to you, sorry, Nat, I think my hair's in this salad. But I've never met a more selfless person than you, Nat. You always putting other people first. And you always see the good in people. You always want what's best for people. You're the funniest woman I've ever met as well. You make me laugh. And I think I've grown more in the last 4 years than I have in the last 24 years. And I owe all of that to being with you. So I can't wait to see what the future brings and the rest of our life brings.
For the future.
When you first told me your name, I didn't hear a word you said, but it was written all over my face. Should've known it was you I would love until the end. When you made it down the aisle, every moment stole my breath. Bet you could see it in my smile. Should've known it was you I would love until the end. I don't know where this road leads. All I know is I wanna go with you in a life where there's no sure things. I am sure I wanna live it with you. If you look into my eyes, when our time down here is spent, it's in every single line. Hope you know it was you that I loved until